Bilangin. Ang kato.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So before I start, I just want to check whether you guys can hear my voice or not. Is it clear? Admin, can you check whether you can listen to my voice? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to start sharp at 2:30. So it's actually 1 hour session. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. Salam sejahtera to all students as well as participants for this session. Okay, first of all, I'm Umar Hayat, currently a lecturer at Azman Hashim International Business School and currently seconded to UTM Center for Student Innovation and Technology Entrepreneurship. So for today, I'm going to share with you a sharing session entitled Creating Your Own Job Through Online Platform. Okay. Before I start with this presentation, I would like to express my gratitude to Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities UTM for giving me an opportunity to share this session. I hope that it will benefit to the student, particularly those in the final year and looking for job or for your career later. So to start with, let me give you some reality checks. Okay, so I just actually before we actually thinking about a job, most probably it's very important for us to understand the current scenario, whereby currently we're having this kind of COVID-19. Okay, and then the unemployment rate is quite alarming for us. And then based on latest statistic, this is actually the current figure. Okay, whereby in March 2020, Malaysian unemployment rate, okay, as you can see from the slide, stood at 3.9% or around 610,000 workers basically unemployed. Okay, and then to come to the scenario whereby based on this kind of COVID-19 recession, so this figure basically is expected, okay, to rise to 5.5%, whereby it's about like 860,000 unemployed workers for the year 2020. So that's the reason why last Friday, our beloved Prime Minister basically announced, okay, another kind of stimulus package in order to overcome this kind of problem. Okay, and I just want to actually back to the give some kind of reality check too, whereby if you try to look, okay, what happened in 1997, okay, we in Malaysia having this kind of Asian financial crisis, and then it's recorded at 3.2%, okay, unemployment rate during that time, okay, and then if you're aware, okay, by the time of 2018 and 2019, the global economic slowdown also happened, and this totally impact, okay, the what we call it the labor market, okay, whereby during that particular year, okay, we actually having 0.7%, and as for now, as I mentioned just now, okay, it's actually projected that by this year, 5.5% unemployment rate going to be happen during this year, okay, particularly during the COVID-19. So due to this kind of case, it's very important for the graduate, particularly the final year student to be prepared, okay, and then to get a job as soon as you could, okay. Okay, and then, so I just want to share with you what happened in 2019. Okay, due to this kind of slowdown in economy, so during that particular year, which is last year, it's estimated about 200,000 graduates. Okay, this is I'm talking about graduates. That means those who are having diploma or degree, whereby when they graduated, they couldn't get a job. Okay, so this is actually quite a serious problem. And then due to the fact, government basically make a study the reason why this kind of situation happened, and some of the things that been said by our former Prime Minister Tun Mahathir, whereby One of it because a lack of expertise as well as education, and then they have they don't have this kind of enough working experience, as well as it's not actually matching in terms of the skill and the what we call it requirement of expertise by the industry. So having said that, that's the reason why I believe this topic is very crucial for you to be more prepared, particularly when you're going to graduate. If I'm not mistaken, for those in the final year student, you're going to graduate by next month. Okay, so that means after in August, most probably most of the final year student going to find a job, okay, and then start your career and earn money. Okay, yes, I can share my slide. Don't worry, Evarina. Okay, so when we talk about this, let me try to share with you, okay, this kind of unemployment rate. Sorry, this slide, one of the slide basically in Malay, but I'm going to translate, okay, in case international student don't understand it. Okay, from the slide, it shows that, okay, 27.9% of unemployment, okay, but among the graduate, basically those who basically hold a degree holder, okay, degree holder, which is quite alarming, okay, and diploma 22.5%. And then if some of you aware, there's kind of what we call it an issue whereby even uh, those postgraduate who are holding master and PhD, they couldn't get a job as well, okay. So that doesn't guarantee the higher education that you have, you get a job. So that means you actually should add some value, some expertise, some kind of what we call it skill on top of your formal education. Okay, and when we look in terms of the field, okay, as you look here, it's quite fair. I mean, across the courses, if you're taking science, literature on science, social, technical, including engineering, IT, most of them basically having unemployment rate among the graduate more than 20%. Okay, so that means if we look in terms of the ratio, 1 out of 5 graduate basically might face problem to get a job. Okay, and some of the reason that being highlighted by job street, as you can see here, asking for unrealistic salary, poor command of English language. It's not only that, but perhaps in terms of communication skill, how to deal with people. And then some of them is quite choosy about the job or company. That means they want to looking for those to get a job from those established company, for example. And then poor communication skill, as well as poor character, attitude, and personality. So this is something that you as a student need to think of. How are you going to what we call it, overcome this weakness in order to add value and be more different to add the value for your career in the future. Okay. Okay. So my question, maybe you can answer through the comments. Are you guys ready to create your own jobs or perhaps a side job via online platform? Okay. I actually give you 1 minute to answer this. Okay. You guys ready to listen to my real talk for now? Or perhaps a side job via online platform. Okay, I actually give you 1 minute to answer this. Okay, you guys ready? Mirza, Akim, I ready to create mine. That's good. Evarina, good. Okay, I see some familiar name here. Nadia Halim, yeah, Nadia Halim, yes. Okay, so that's very important because even though, okay, especially even though perhaps I always advice to my student, even though they are in the first year, second year, even third year, and importantly, final year, they need to be prepared, okay, to add value in order to increase their employability. Okay, because nowadays, when we talk about the job market, it's quite competitive. Okay, it's quite competitive. Okay, you are not competing alone, okay, with your classmates, which is your friends. Okay, as a matter of fact, due to this kind of digitalization, whereby we are talking in terms of digital labor. So the competition is quite open, okay? As you can see, okay, due to the internet connection, most probably, okay, your company might find their potential employees, okay, from foreigners, those who are living outside of Malaysia, for example, okay? So I just want to give you some kind of overview digital around the world in July 2019. Okay, why digitalization becomes such important topic? Okay, particularly it impact your potential employment. Okay, as you can see from the statistic back in July 2019, okay, total population 7.7 billion, and then we can see that 66%, which is representing 5 billion of people, basically have unique mobile users. And then in terms of internet connection, as you can see, 56%, that means more than half of the world population can communicate or interact through internet. And then when we zoom in into the social media users, yes, it's almost half, which is 46% of people currently active in social media. And then mobile social media users, basically 45%. So due to this kind of scenario, so it totally changed the landscape of not only our life, but also our working life, okay? And it's proven, I think, due to the COVID-19, many of us realize that many of our works, okay, whereby all this while, we always think that everything should be done face to face or physically. Am I right? Okay. But nowadays, as you can see, all the teaching and learning right now at UTM, basically, uh, currently, we actually conduct 100% online. Okay, and then meeting, okay, for example, if you want to meet your supervisors to complete your PSM, for example, you need to meet your supervisor. But for now, we can simply use this kind of platform. Even at this current moment, this is actually a proof fact whereby the usage of internet connection enable me to share this sharing knowledge to all of you. Okay. So it totally changed our life, and most probably in the next few years, due to the COVID-19, as well as people started to realize that something that could be done through internet. So most probably our working lifestyle might be changed. Okay, so that means most probably we will use internet all this while. Okay, and when we talk about the labor market has evolved tremendously. Okay, since a decade ago, due to digitalization, as I mentioned before, and due to industry restructuring and due to demographic dynamic. So this is some of the what we call it reason why people started to go into digitalization. Okay, mainly because of flexibility. Okay, that means you can working from home. Okay, this is very important for mothers, especially for the what we call it career women, okay, that need to balance their work, their family, as well as other activities, okay. And then another reason is because of limited job opportunities, okay. This is actually, I'm going to discuss that later. That means due to the competition, some of you might opt to go to another market that could simply give you some money or earnings, okay. And then you want to get extra income, okay. That's the reason why, if you reflecting back, I forget to elaborate this. Okay, back to my question here. Are you ready to create your own job or side job? Okay, so having said that, when we actually looking in terms of this aspect, it's not only to create your own job, but also in the future, even right now, many of us basically have a second job or side job simply because first, due to the increased cost of living. Okay, so we need more money. And second one, most probably because of lifestyle. Okay, other people are doing that, and even though we have our what we call it own job, but we want to what we call it follow this kind of movement. Okay, this kind of trend, for example. Okay. Okay, so this is the main reason. The first, flexibility. The second one, limited job opportunities. And the third one, extra income. Okay. Okay, so for today, okay, this is the most important sign of today. I'm going to share with you 3 approaches to create your own job via online platform. That means even you are still a student right now, you can start your own job. Okay, and I don't actually surprised because I have met several students who basically earn income more than me as a lecturer. So that means you can start from now. Okay, what you could do. Okay, this is some of the aspect that I might share. The first approach or the first strategy is through freelance job. Okay, I'm going to share this very detailed later. The second one, which is close to my area, which is currently I'm teaching entrepreneurship. That means you can use this kind of online business as a platform, okay, to create your own job. Okay, and thirdly, how are you going to turn hobby into profit? Okay, so a lot of example I will give to you. So bear with me for the next half an hour, I think. Okay, okay. So the next part, okay, I'm going to share with you the first approach, which is freelance job or gig economy. How many of you here have heard the term of gig economy? You can answer through chat platform. How many of you have ever heard the term of freelance? I think freelance is quite familiar or quite common to some of you. But how about gig economy? Have you ever crossed this kind of term before? I never heard. I'm very interested. Okay, never heard of gig economy. Okay, this is actually a term. It's not actually a weird term because it has been used by World Bank, even MDEC also. Our country also has been using that. Okay, and then ILO, okay, International Labour Organization also very much concerned in terms of gig economy. Okay, gig economy more or less. Okay, let me try to make it simpler. Okay, gig economy more or less is like informal economy. Okay, but it's actually being what we call it facilitated by digital platform. Okay, that's the difference. For example, when we talk about informal economy, that means it's referring to any kind of job or businesses that don't register the business to the authority. Okay, for example, in Malaysia, we have Senjaya Syarikat Malaysia. So if you do a business but you don't register to SSM, that means it's part of the what we call it informal economy. But when we talk about gig economy, okay, especially due to the rise of Uberization, so this is where gig economy come into picture. People basically get a job or do their kind of earnings, okay, through this kind of digital platform. So having said that, look here, this is actually some of the definition. Gig economy involve exchange of labor, okay, for money between individual or companies, okay, via digital platform. Okay, that's actually what define economy, okay, that actively facilitate matching between the service provider as well as the customer, okay, on a short term and payment by task basis. Okay, Varina asked here, is it like project based job? More or less, okay, more or less it's like project based job, but it's beyond that, okay, it's bigger than that, okay. So because gig economy representing how people are doing their kind of a job beyond the traditional ways, okay, digital platform. Okay, to make this understanding clearer, so let me give you the taxonomy or the type of gig economy. So basically, this is actually accepted worldwide in terms of the definition. Okay, in terms of gig economy, we divide it into two parts. Okay, web-based digital labor, or simply we call it cloud work. Okay, and the second one, location-based digital labor or gig work. What the main difference? Okay, for location-based, is basically is have this kind of geographical constraint. Okay, that means it's only can be done at a certain location. For example, I give you for example, part of the gig economy basically Uber, Grab, for example. Okay, so that means if you are doing Grab, okay, it's only can be delivered within that particular location. Okay, meanwhile, when we talk about web-based digital labor, you can simply get any job, not only in the country, that means in Malaysia, but also out of Malaysia, okay, through the connection of internet. Okay, so a lot of platform I'm going to share with you as well what basically the established platform that you can use to advertise your expertise and get a job. Okay, so this is two main types, okay, of the digital economy or gig economy. Okay, so people can simply get a job through this kind of platform. Okay, okay, if you have any question, you can what we call it post the question in the chat. Okay, and I really hope that the host could help me because I don't have access to Facebook what we call Facebook Live. So it's much appreciated if the host can share any question as well. Okay, so let me proceed with further elaboration of gig economy. Okay. Okay, so when we talk about gig economy, let me give you some kind of background of gig economy in Malaysia. Okay, first of all, we need to look how many of us basically self-employed workers who do not have any employees in the informal sectors. That means when we talk about gig economy, as I mentioned before, it's inclusive of informal economy. So in Malaysia, based on Department of Statistics, it's about 70% of self-employed workers who do not have any employees. That means it's like a one-man show. Okay, so they're actually doing their own job, their own business, but they're not hiring people. So it's about 70%. Okay, and then, okay, when we try to look in terms of Malaysian labor force participated in freelance job. Okay, so surprisingly and very interesting, 25%, which is a quarter of Malaysian labor market, basically participated in freelance job. Okay, and then that's actually based on the World Bank. Okay, a statistic back in 2018 is quite recent. Okay, and then based on study conducted by Zurich as well as University of Oxford, this is actually joint study by both organizations. Okay, they conducted a study and they found that 38% of Malaysian express their intention to enter into gig economy in the next 12 months. And then the result of this outcome published in January 2020. So I actually expect that most probably due to this kind of trend as well as COVID-19, many people will go into this kind of gig economy. As you might aware, the number of retrenchment, people basically opted to exit from the job, so they don't have any kind of what we call option, As a result, they need to find a job. So one of the fastest way for them to earn money basically through this kind of gig platform, So to become the giggers, we call it giggers, or to become the freelancers, for them to continue their living. Okay, so I would like to introduce one of the prominent agencies, which is responsible to develop this kind of digital economy called MDEC, Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, Even if you try to look from our Prime Minister's speech, the stimulus package, MDEC has been mentioned quite sometimes. One of the ways for the government to minimize the impact of COVID-19 is by encouraging people to go into digitalization. And that's the reason why MDEC is what we call it become important agencies to help the government. As you can see that it's actually a government-owned institution, to spearhead the development of digital economy in Malaysia. And as a matter of fact, currently, there are about 117 platform partners, in the gig economy with MDEC. In reality, basically, it's more than that. But the one that has been registered, and approved as a partner for MDEC is just 117. Even 170, they play an important part in the freelance or perhaps gig economy. And it's quite interesting because 92 out of 170 platforms basically are Malaysian-owned companies. I'm going to share with you two main program later, in detail, which is become what we call it an important program, to spearhead the development of gig economy in Malaysia, e-Rezeki. I believe many of you have heard this before. And then currently, one of the things that been mentioned, by the Prime Minister last Friday, basically global online workforce. It started back in 2017 or 18. I'm going to elaborate on that. So at least you should know these two programs in order to get a job through digital platform. So as mentioned before, there are about 117 partners for MDEC. And as you can see here, there are a lot of what we call it sectors, which is covered under the sharing economy or gig economy. For example, if you have the expertise, you as a graduate letter, of course, many of you would know how to make editing or perhaps copywriting or perhaps to make some kind of graphics, designing any kind of graphic works. So you can get a job through this kind of platform, digital and professional work, as you can see here. And maybe you actually have the expertise to teach people, you can go into education and training, a lot of platform as well. And then it's not a surprise, perhaps some of you opted to go into tourism and perhaps cleaning and cleaning services. Because as I mentioned before, you cannot be choosy, you cannot be picky when it comes to getting a job. Perhaps try to get any job first and later you try to improve your career from time to time. As long as you can earn this kind of experience, it's okay. So even though, for example, if you're working as what we call it, sorry to say, like low-level workers, for example, working at McDonald's, but still, you basically earn some kind of experience how to deal with people, how to deal with the fussy customer, for example, so you can actually get the detail through MDEC, what we call it, website. But for now, I'm going to elaborate more in terms of e-rezeki and global online workforce, which is simply called as GLOW. Okay, particularly GLOW basically part of e-rezeki. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2014 or 15. Okay, when e-rezeki started to launch by MDAC. Okay, if you look here in terms of its main objective, GLOW basically want to provide opportunity for Malaysian to perform work, and then use their pastime, and then other utilize physical asset or certain knowledge and skill. That means, it provides some kind of additional job, because when the government started e-rezeki, mainly targeting B40, that's actually the main aspect through digital platform. And then and that relies, there are a group of professional which is having diploma and above that could go into this kind of professional platform, online professional platform. So that's the reason why in 2018, MDEC started to focus on global online workforce. That means if you look from the job and the scope of this kind of program, the main difference between e-rezeki is open to all. But for global online workforce, is actually for the professional, which is for the graduate especially, because some of the platform, they requires you to have diploma and above. So that means you can use this platform to get a job. And interestingly, your prospect service seekers or the platform that you use is not from Malaysia. Some of them, for example, I'm going to share part of it. For example, like Upwork freelancers, they're mainly from the state US. So this is actually an opportunity for you to venture into this kind of job, through GLOW. Even right now, government start to what we call it strengthen, or perhaps start to what we call it make GLOW part of the important program, in order to leverage the problem of unemployment among the graduate. So far, any question? Any question? So I just want to share some of the success story here. Even you can look from the website, whereby this is actually the impact of joining GLOW, Global Online Workforce Program, in terms of the income. So that means you can do freelance. It's not only limited to what we call it professional. Perhaps I have seen there's one what we call it lady aged between 40 years old to 50 years old, whereby she can simply get a week is about like 1,000, because when you actually join GLOW, and that will connect you to global online platform. And then most of the income basically paid in US dollar. So that means if you can simply get like 3,000 US dollar, that means you almost get 1,000 ringgit, 1,200 ringgit. So, and then MDEC going to guide you, how to make sure that the prospect service seeker going to use your services, for example. So for you to know better, I would encourage you to register and go into this website, glowmalaysia.com. And then once you enter the website, make sure that you register, and then you can learn many aspects. And for now, if you look here, even GLOW, they started to make like GLOW e-learning. It's still not launching yet. GLOW e-learning is like an online tutorial, because it's not actually simply you advertise. They're going to teach you how to make sure that your advertisement been seen by other service seeker. I'm calling service seeker, that means your customers. Because when you join GLOW, or when we join this kind of platform, you are not competing among Malaysians. You're going to compete with the professional all over the world. So that's the reason why it's very important for you to join this kind of program provided by MDEC. At least you know how to provide expertise. It's not about it's not only graphic design. You can become writer, translator, or many other jobs that you think could be done through internet. A lot of things, even micro job, for example, some of you are basically being assigned to become, for example, like to conduct a survey, for example, they're going to pay to you. Okay. So this is actually very recent news, okay, whereby it totally reflect, okay, the development and how important the industry of gig economy, okay, based on Pelanjana Semula Ekonomi Negara that been launched last Friday. So government will channel 75 million into gig economy. It's such a big amount of money, and it shows that how important it is, okay. If you look here, okay, 50 million of the allocation basically provided as a matching grant up to 50 million for gig economy platform, which is among Malaysian particularly that contribute to SOCSO and EPF as well as ISARAN contribution. Okay, let me, before I was sharing the beauty of go into gig economy, but there are some kind of disadvantage as well. Okay, one of it, when you join this kind of freelance, that means you are not a full-time employers. You are not full-time employees. You are not full-time workers. Having said that, you are not basically obliged to any kind of traditional employees benefit. For example, insurance, SOCSO, EPF. Okay, so that's the reason why back in 2017, okay, when the government go into this kind of the rising of the economy, so they introduced ISARAN. That means voluntarily, okay, you put your own EPF for your future. Okay, so you need to understand, for example, like Grab, for example, okay, they are not actually the employees of Grab. Okay, so they're actually a freelancer. So anything happen basically under the responsibility of the individual person. So that's the reason why, if you look here, a lot of discussion has been done by the Grab drivers as well as the operators Grab and as well as the government. And for now, I can say that the government started to put a lot of attention, okay, to increase the well-being of the giggers or freelancers. That's why we have this kind of ISARAN, whereby through the ISARAN on SOCSO, anything happen, government going to help you as well. Okay, and then if you look here, okay, when we're talking in terms of GLOW, okay, so 25 million of the budget will be allocated just for GLOW program. That means this is where you need to grab this kind of opportunity. MDEC has been given 25 million, so they're going to actually strengthen the delivery of GLOW to the rakyat. Okay. Okay, so go next. So this is example for those who want to try. So these are two, what we call it, gigantic companies, okay, freelancer platform or portal that being used worldwide, okay. So for those who want to try, you can go to the website www.freelancer.com, or you can go to Upwork, okay. There are a lot of platforms that you can use, but this is actually two of the most reputable freelance platform, okay, that being used worldwide. But the disadvantage of what we call it, signing up and advertise your expertise here is basically is very competitive because you need to compete from people all over the world. Okay, but don't worry, because like I told before, there's one lady basically can earn like 1,000 to 2,000 US dollars, not ringgit, simply because she just actually doing a translation which from English to Malay. Okay, so having said that, that's a market. Okay, there's a market for that. Okay, people as translation services. Okay, and this is one of the interesting scenario that happened. Okay, and I think it's going to be happen after this as well. Even though because of even though we're having COVID-19. Okay, for the past few years, we have this kind of term called digital nomad. Okay, that means people who use telecommunication technologies to earn and living more generally conduct their life in a nomadic manners. Okay, if you go to Bali, for example, you can see a group of digital nomad. What they are doing, okay, they enjoy their life. They're coming from Western countries, from the UK, from the US, okay, and but they are living in the low, what we call it, at the third world country or perhaps developing country, which is the cost of living is much more cheaper. Okay, so if you look here, so they have a group of people which is outside of the country. They go to the Southeast Asia, Malaysia as well. If you go to, for example, in KL, even in Johor, we have like Iskandar Space. I met like few people from Iskandar Space in Johor. Basically, they are digital nomad. They're from Western country. Why they actually living here? Simply because they can simply get cheaper resources and then low cost of living, but they earn money in US. Okay. Okay. And then yes, I will share the slide. Don't worry. Okay, and then, okay, I think I have done the first approach. The first approach, basically, I just discussed about freelance or gig economy. I really hope that through this, you know what is your current value, expertise, and knowledge, and you can offer to the world. Okay, some interruption. Okay, that's actually one of the weakness of digitalization. Okay, so we go next. Okay, I think this is my area of expertise as well. So online business. Okay, so besides you actually, if you have this kind of interest to do a business, okay, you must start from now. Okay, I believe this kind of entrepreneurship should start from the what we call it student time. That means when you were when you're still a student, please venture into a business. It's not about transforming you into becoming entrepreneurs in the future. Even when I'm teaching entrepreneurship, I always tell my student, okay, and I keep repeating to the student. That means I'm teaching entrepreneurship not transform you to become entrepreneurs, but I want to become entrepreneurial. Okay, the reason why we actually advise you to do a real business activity, because from that business activity you can learn a lot of skill. For example, communication skill, and then marketing and advertising skill, and then how to dealing with people. So a lot of things you can basically develop or nurture through a real business activity. So let me actually further explain about online business. Okay, so I think most of you have this kind of ideas about online business. Sorry. As a new, okay, I have a question here. Let me try to read it. As a new fresh graduate that looking for a freelance project, could you share with us on how to build portfolio experience from zero to convince the potential client? As I mentioned before, so this is something that being provided by Glow. Okay, to start with, most probably, the thing like this, it's similar like when a business, similarly like when you do this kind of freelance job. You mean weakness, basically you don't have any kind of proven track record. So it's very difficult to build trust, okay, among your customers or potential clients, okay. So having said that, try to find any project first and use that kind of platform to build the trust. Of course, it might take some time. Even when I'm teaching entrepreneurship, I always tell my student, you are not going to actually simply get what we call it encouraging sale within 1 month, most probably between 2 to 3 months. Okay, it's going to take time because we're talking in terms of trust. Okay, but the moment you actually secure one project, make sure you deliver it well. Okay, and another aspect that perhaps that being will be shared through Glow program, they're going to actually share with you how to do this kind of what we call it posting on the platform. Okay, there's some trick that you actually need to use. Okay, so I'm not actually going to elaborate that, but my piece of advice, okay, you actually can join Glow program. They're going to give a very structured way how you will become a successful freelancer. As I mentioned before, because the second advantage of doing freelance, your competitors is not only from Malaysia, but also from all over the world, most probably from India, okay, most probably from China, from Sri Lanka, for example. Okay, when we talk about banking industry, this is something that very true. From banking industry, some of the, for example, some of the job basically provided by a company in Australia, but most of the workers basically from India. That's actually one of the example. Okay, so let me actually elaborate about online business. So I think most of you know that online business is the use of the internet and the web, okay, to do commercial transaction between organization and individual. And then we are talking in terms of commercial transaction. That means any kind of transaction that could give you revenue. That's very important. People might say that if you don't make any revenue within like 3 or 6 months, so it's better for you to exit. Okay, so most probably as a student trying to actually venture into a business that not we call it not so called like high risk. Okay, try, of course, when you do a business, you actually might face some kind of risk. Okay, so take it as a challenge whereby if you actually face some kind of loss, so you need to set some kind of amount, which is I would say like it's like affordable loss. How much affordable loss that you can make, okay, before you could continue your business. Okay, so make sure whatever business that you do, you actually have some target, okay, in terms of revenue as well as profit that you want to generate, as well as the impact. Okay. Okay, so I just want to share with you in terms of how big, when we talk about online business or e-commerce, we cannot actually run away to discuss about the impact of social network, which is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and right now TikTok. Okay, so this is kind of trending right now. People currently are using TikTok for marketing and business. Okay, but I don't have any TikTok account. I'm going to actually venture that later, but for now, I'm zero in terms of how to advertise on TikTok. But if you look here, I just actually want to focus on certain aspect like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, which is quite popular, okay, among Malaysians. If you look here, this is actually when we want to compare the composition or perhaps the population of people based on country as well as network. If you look here, Facebook, okay, this is not based on updated one. I'm going to share later the updated numbers of Facebook users. You can imagine that the number of users of Facebook basically much more higher than China, which is in China, the population is 1.4 billion. But the users of Facebook currently already reached 2.6 billion, if I'm not mistaken, which is more than China population. Okay, and you need to bear in mind. Okay, in China, they basically don't allow the usage of Facebook. Could you imagine if China opened its regulation whereby their people can use Facebook? That means the number of users would be increased. Okay, for now, if you go to China, you can simply use Facebook. You cannot use WhatsApp. Okay, normally people will go to WeChat, for example. Okay, okay. So this is based on the current or latest statistic as mentioned before. So this is number of users. Okay, the world most used social platform. If you look here, Facebook already recorded 2.4 billion. Okay, YouTube 2 billion. Okay, if you look here, Instagram 1 billion, and right now TikTok is already increased 800 million. Okay, so this is actually the number of usage. So that means it's a vast potential if you use this kind of platform for a business. So that's the reason why for today, I'm going to share with you a bit about the potential of using Facebook as well as Instagram, okay, for your business. Okay, so this is, but before that, it's very important for you to understand the demographic or perhaps the characteristic or personality of your users. Because when you want to market a product, okay, you need to know how many people at certain age basically using Facebook. Okay, is it youngsters, teenagers, adult? How many of them basically more engaged with YouTube? Okay, because this is actually one of the challenging among the entrepreneurship lecturers. Okay, many of us basically we consider as generation Y. Okay, and then you are millennial. Okay, so basically from for my batch, which is age between 30 to 49, many of us basically are more opted to use Facebook. Okay, but less of us using Instagram. Okay, so when we want to teach this kind of social media marketing, so many of our students they are more interested and they are more familiar with Instagram. So that's the reason why we need to balance that. Even when you do a business, okay, you should know who are your potential customers. If your potential customers basically those who are aged okay between 30 to 49 is good if you're focusing on Facebook platform okay, rather than Instagram. But if your customers, basically youngsters, basically university student right now, okay, which is very young, so most of them are using Instagram. Am I right? Okay, you are quite attached. You are more interested to use Instagram simply because they have interesting features like IG story, IG live that can lasting for 24 hours, and then IGTV whereby you can record any kind of video more than what we call it is up to 1 hours. So many of them are using that. So having said that, you should know. Even some of us started to use Twitter. Previously, Twitter are more into this kind of people who want to get faster news, okay? Particularly when we talk about political news. Okay, so many politicians like Donald Trump, for example, even our politician, they are using Twitter. Okay, but right now Twitter has a number of people, particularly the young generation, started to use Twitter because they have Twitter is like micro blogging, and then they have this kind of trend and then retweet, so trending. So that's the reason why many people are using Twitter right now. Even few of my students said that previously they used Instagram, but right now they started to transfer to Twitter. Okay. And then Twitter also started, okay, to open their kind of services, which is Twitter for Business. You can advertise your product on Twitter, okay? Like Facebook and Instagram, okay? Instagram basically owned by Facebook. Okay, I think many of you know about this history where Mark Zuckerberg basically bought Instagram for the value of 1 billion. Okay, and then after that, many data from Facebook, Instagram, as well as WhatsApp basically integrated. For example, if you post any kind of posting on Facebook, on Instagram, automatically it could be advertised on Facebook. So it's much more easier. Okay. Okay, so let me share with you the main difference in terms of the type of Facebook account. I think many of you know, but to some of you perhaps not sure yet. So I just want to give you, these are three main type of Facebook account. Okay, most of us, basically all of us, okay, all of us are, so far from my experience, uh, I always actually have in mind that many of or all of us should have Facebook account. But interestingly, okay, for the past 1 or 2 semesters, okay, I discovered and I found that 1 or 2 of my students basically didn't have Facebook account. So it's quite a surprise simply because they are more into Instagram. They don't want to use Facebook. So, but when they go into my class, I actually ask them to create Facebook just for the class exercise. Okay. So when we talk about this, first you should know the main difference. The first one is basically we call it the personal account or profile. So this is where you basically can add friends, but it's only limited to 5,000 friends. Okay. And then it's not very I'm not really recommend you basically use your own personal profile to do a business, okay, because it's basically not favored by Facebook as well, okay, because from the record of Facebook revenue, so I would say that 90% of Facebook, almost 90% of Facebook revenue basically come from advertising, which is that's the reason why Facebook will ask you to go for page. Okay, to go for page. Okay, even there's some cases whereby some people, when they actually keep on advertising or doing a business on their personal, okay, they've been blocked. Okay, they've been blocked. Okay, so let me try to elaborate more. So that's the reason why people go into group, but group is only limited. You can only interact with group members only. Okay, and then the last one is Facebook page. Okay, for Facebook page is this is where you should use this platform for your business and organization. But before you create the Facebook page, make sure you have the personal account first, and after that you can create a lot of pages. Okay, so you can add to this kind of Facebook page, you can add moderator, administrator. Okay, so this is actually where and how Facebook basically generate money. Okay, you can create content and advertisement on Facebook and targeted advertisement. Okay, even you can actually, what we call it, create an advertisement from Facebook page, and later you can advertise on Instagram. So you can do that. That's why it's not a surprise sometimes when you click any advertisement on Instagram, and when you click, they don't have any account on Instagram, but only in Facebook, because it's interrelated when it comes to advertising activities by Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so if you want to start, but you don't want to create your own Facebook, okay, one of the things that you can use is through Facebook Marketplace. Okay, so this is actually to cater local customer. That means at certain what we call it location. Okay, they have this kind of geographical constraint. Okay, this is a feature by Facebook to encourage selling and buying activities among Facebook. You can go to this kind of Facebook account. You can see this kind of icon like a house, okay, with a green roof. Okay, you click that one and you can see a lot of people basically advertise, okay, through this kind of Facebook Marketplace. That means they don't have page. They simply use their individual Facebook account, okay, and they're using Facebook Messengers as the medium of communication. What is actually the weakness of doing this? If you actually want privacy, many of us will not opt to use Facebook Marketplace, because when you click at your Facebook here, they will show your individual Facebook account. Okay, but if you actually doing this kind of Facebook page, okay, you basically can hide, okay, your own identity as moderator, administrator, marketer, so on and so forth. Okay, so there are a lot of what we call it features that you can use here, but for you to start, or perhaps, okay, perhaps you do not know what item that you want to sell. Okay, you really want to go into a business, but you don't know how to find the suppliers. So one of the ways that I learned, okay, through MDEC course, basically they teach us one of the effective way. Go to marketplace and try to get your suppliers through this kind of advertising. So you can simply communicate with them and then get the product to be sold online. Okay. Okay. So let me share about Instagram for business. I think many of you, basically you are young generation, you will be using what we call it Instagram. Can I know how many of you here do not have Instagram account? I just want to know how many of you here don't have any Instagram account. Okay. I believe most of you. Me, oh, not Atira. I don't have Arafat. Why? Okay, you should follow this kind of mainstream uh, trend. Okay. Because okay, through this kind of things, basically, many of artists, I think celebrity for now, they are using Instagram. Okay, even during this kind of Ramadan. Okay, if you remember, many of celebrities using IG live. Okay, in order to discuss certain aspect. Even many ustads, okay, currently doing dakwah, okay, through Instagram. I still remember during Ramadan, I actually watched Miss Dina with one of the ustad in Singapore. They're discussing about religious aspect through Instagram. It's quite interesting, and then the number of viewers is quite encouraging as well. Okay, but get an IG account. They create one, but one was created for me. That's good. Okay, because they are connected. Okay, so let me share with you. This is the potential, but for now, as I shared before, there are about 1 billion of users on Instagram, and many of them are young people, and many celebrities also focusing on Instagram. Okay, 90% of account follow a business on Instagram. That's very true. Okay, I'm going to share with you some of the, we call it key opinion leaders of calls, okay, key opinion leaders whereby they use Instagram and they can make money through Instagram, not advertising their product, but advertising others' product, okay? And then 500 million accounts use Instagram stories. I believe many of you are quite attached with the stories, okay? And whatever thing that happen in your life, in your daily life, perhaps some of you have this kind of addiction, okay? You wanted to advertise, always share on the IG story, okay? Okay, so there are two main difference when we talk about IG account. So the first one is actually many of you might have this one personal account, okay? And then you also have business Instagram account. The main difference, if you actually have this kind of business Instagram account, they will put additional features such as like direction, email. You can put your website as well. Okay, that's basically the main difference. Okay, and then let me share with you the main difference. Okay, if you have personal, the thing that you post on the Instagram personal is just something that's quite personal. But here, when you have this kind of business, okay, you basically can showcase your product or services. And interestingly, one of the aspect that you could get if you create your own Instagram for business, you can simply switch. Basically, it's not really difficult. Okay, you go to setting, you go to account, and then you can switch from personal to business, and from business, which is for the professional, we call it IG for professional, and from professional to personal. And IG basically can detect if you basically have a lot of followers. Most probably your followers is reached 500,000 or 1 million. Automatically, Instagram will switch your account from personal to professional, which is under influencer. Okay, even though you are not business, but you become influencer. Okay, so and then when whatever thing you advertise on Facebook, Instagram for business, they have this kind of insight. You can actually look your followers, what we call it, demographic, personality, how many people click to your posting, for example. That's actually what differentiate between personal as well as for business. The third one, access to Instagram Insight to analyze the efficiency of your account. Okay. Okay. So yes, that's very true, Evarina. And Vivo, you are talking about Vivo. Okay, and Vivo 11, I also used Vivo before. Okay, and Vivo 11, where they started to actually add the features of Facebook. Okay, and then and Vivo 12 is more improvised. Okay, for example, those are doing research. You can use this kind of Vivo to capture, for example, what has been commented on Facebook comment sections, and you can analyze that later. So this is quite interesting. Thanks for sharing. Okay, you can do business by having this kind of expertise as well. Okay. So I have mentioned about Instagram. I have mentioned about Facebook. I think one of the things that you can use as well, which is quite popular among the students, is basically through online marketplace. Okay, so we have here, for example, like Shopee. How many of you here? Be frank with me. How many of you here during PKBB, basically you buy a lot, you buy a lot from Shopee. And then I think 6th of June, 6th of June, Shopee always make this kind of promotion, right? Okay, so Shopee is currently become what we call it the leader in Malaysian online marketplace. But in reality, we have a lot of marketplace like Lazada, Lelong.my is quite sometimes Mudah.my. I think back in 2008, okay, we don't have Lazada. During that time, we don't have Shopee, but many people are using Mudah.my, if you still remember, okay, to advertise, to buy product through online. Okay, but right now, it's very competitive, okay? Even Lazada, okay? Do you know Lazada basically owned by which company? Anyone can give me an idea? Anyone? Do you know Lazada? Okay, let me share with you. Lazada basically owned by Alibaba, which is Alibaba, which is Jack Ma. Okay, it's fully is basically the what majority shareholder for Lazada. So that's why Lazada is quite strong as well. But currently in Southeast Asia, which is Shopee, originally from Singapore, okay, become the dominant marketplace in Malaysia. Okay, and perhaps we have another one. If you still remember, previously we have 11th Street, basically owned by Axiata Group or under Celcom, Axiata Group. But right now they already transformed, changed the company into Presto Mall, if not mistaken. So this is actually the number of marketplace that you can use. It's very easy. Okay, for example, you can simply sign in. Okay, that's main difference. Shopee, basically they started to introduce C2C, customer to customers. Okay, so whereby you can simply advertise any of your product through this kind of Shopee. Just Lazada, okay, back in mid 2019 when they faced fierce competition from Shopee, they have put leniency in terms of the criteria to advertise or do a sell product on their platform. Previously, if you want to sell on Lazada, they require you to have SSM. That means you need to register your business, okay, because the platform is B2C, business to customers. But right now, they need to change. They need to pivot, okay, their business model, whereby even though you don't have a business, you still can sell your product online through Lazada platform. But two main aspects, those who are doing this kind of business through marketplace, Shopee, your buyer and seller account will be using in only from one platform. But for Lazada, they have different website or different platform. Lazada seller and Lazada for the customers basically different. Okay. Okay, so I just want to actually share with you, this is actually the top marketplace in Malaysia in 2020, whereby as you can see that many of us currently are using Shopee and followed by Lazada, and I just realized there's PG Mall, okay, Lelong, Zalora, eBay. Okay, eBay is quite established originally from US, okay. So some people are still using eBay because they want to get product from the state, from the US and from the UK, for example, that's why they are using eBay. Okay. Okay. So if you actually feel not so confident, okay, to venture into a business using this kind of digital platform, don't worry much, because again, MDA is going to provide a very systematic program called E-Usahawan. I believe some of you have heard this program before, okay? Because this is actually a government initiative to assist youth, which is you, okay? As a youngsters, micro entrepreneurs, by exposing them to digital entrepreneurship. So this program aims to apply digital entrepreneurship value and knowledge to micro, rural, and youth entrepreneurs. And trust me, you're going to learn a lot if you join this program. As simple as how you can, what the simplest thing that you can do, you can register to Go e-commerce platform. I'm going to show with you later. Because through that kind of platform, it's like e-learning. You're going to actually, you can make self-learning. Okay, how to use Facebook, how to use Instagram. It's not about Facebook, Instagram. Okay, it's beyond that. Okay, so this is actually the platform. Sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, so back to here. Okay, you can simply go to this website www.ecommerce.my. Okay, and then you need to sign in and make sure you sign in as a student. Okay, and try to find any class if you can enroll with the class. I think for those who are enrolling for in entrepreneurship class, it's such a requirement for you to have this kind of account. Okay, and then it's similar. You need to put your name based on IC. You need to actually put your IC and email as well. Okay, and you're going to learn a lot of aspects. It's not about Facebook and Instagram. It's about copywriting, SEO, search engine optimization, mobile apps, email marketing, even as complicated as to develop your own website. Okay, you can learn from this platform. Okay, so a lot of things could be actually provided by MDEC basically. Okay, okay, and then this is actually the second aspect, e-business. Okay, if you remember the first one, you go into freelance in order to create your own job through digital platform. The second one, you go into business. And the third aspect, which is I'm going to make sure is very simple one because I have few more minutes. Okay, so this is how you turn your hobby into income. Okay, so having said that, many people, even though they are not into job yet, okay, most probably what they can do, they turn hobby into income. Okay, that's simply you can turn your hobby. If your hobby basically cooking, you can actually use digital platform to share your hobbies and you can earn money from that. Okay, many people are doing that. Okay, and perhaps you are actually more into gadget. So when you buy any kind of new phone, iPhone whatsoever, so the moment you unbox, okay, the product, okay, you can actually make a video, you advertise, and you can get viewers, you can get money. So having said that, okay, I just give you an example. So for example, you can become paid reviewers. This is particularly if you consider it as Insta famous, okay, ataupun or perhaps we call it like you become influencers, okay. So you have many followers on Facebook, you have many followers on Insta, or Facebook we call likers, okay, followers on Insta. So this is where, for example, you have like 30, 40, 50,000, even 100,000. This is where you can actually do what we call as paid reviewers. Many celebrity are doing that. Okay, not only the common people like us, but also celebrity are doing that. That means it's not for free. Okay, you need to pay for them. Okay, to advertise, to review, to market your product. And secondly, vloggers. Okay, so you can become vloggers, but the thing that you need to really understand, you should develop the content. So that means people actually currently focusing on the content. Okay, for example, how to make video, what are the content, what are the messages that you want to convey to the targeted audience. Okay, and then the last one, key opinion leaders. Okay, so I just want to share, I think many of you know about this story. It's very interesting and become booming. It becomes some kind of topical story during COVID-19, during PKP. Remember? Okay, Sugu Pavitra. Okay, Sugu Pavitra, whereby she actually started from a small what kind of videos, and it's become booming. Yes, very popular. Okay, and you know what? Okay, for now on her YouTube, she has around 647,000 subscribers, and then the viewers is 5 million, just actually from hobby. Okay, from cooking. That means from the passion of cooking, very simple one. Okay, she's not coming from a family background. Okay, she do it from her own kitchen, and then she share it and interestingly attracted many viewers. Even, okay, her story is actually being mentioned a lot, not only among us but also among the our leaders. Okay, among our prime minister as well. And then if you actually, this is particularly among the Malays, like if you know about Harul Aming, okay, so basically what he basically shared on his Instagram is just recipe, cooking recipe. And then I remember, okay, before Ramadan, basically he just have like 2.1 million of followers, okay. And after that, okay, he basically have a program called One Day One Recipe. So every day he's going to share one recipe, and it's become booming. I think it started like 2 years ago, but last year, whereby he reached 1 million of followers, okay. And then that's why, okay, he put encourage. That means if you want him to advertise, okay, to review any kind of things, you can ask him, but you need to pay. Okay, so this is how basically you can use your own digital platform, particularly social media, okay, to earn some money. But that depends. Okay, when we talk about job, for me, okay, for the what we call it, graduates, okay, you become graduate, you become professional letter, maybe you can use this as a side jobs, okay, as a side job, okay, you still actually doing your own what we call it job, or your content with your career, but you can actually develop a content that could attracted people, and in return you can earn some profit or earning. Okay, so I just want to share with you. Okay, this is the website. You can go to Social Blade, a website all over the world, whereby they're going to categorize, okay, each what we call it platform on YouTube. That means they're going to put how much subscribers they need to level the rank, and then they're going to estimate. If you click that one, they're going to estimate your income. Okay, so it's quite interesting. The most popular YouTubers in Malaysia basically not other than Upin and Ipin Les Kopa. Okay, if you see here, okay, that means if you look Sugu just have about like what 647 subscriber, but for Les Kopa, could you imagine they have about almost reached 10 million subscribers. That means they're earning, if Sugu basically can simply get 9,000, so Les Kopa, which is very popular, they simply earn money through their kind of content creation. Okay, I think so this is actually where you can turn, okay, your hobbies into an income. Okay, I have few more minutes. So the next part, I think that's all for my today's session. I would love to open for any kind of question or sharing from you guys. Okay, before I end my session. So as mentioned before, I'm from UTM website. We actually provide a lot of training, consultation. Even some of the students approach us how to develop this kind of good social and effective social media marketing. We actually more than happy to help. Okay, and then most probably we can also conduct a program together with any kind of partners. Okay, so just open to any question before I end my session today. I hope that is going to benefit you. Let me recap. Okay, so why I am actually sharing this session, because we need to understand nowadays the graduates, okay, the students cannot be so picky or choosy in choosing their job. Okay, so that means, okay, whatever thing that you can do to share your expertise, please do that. Okay, and unemployment is quite high, and then as been mentioned by our prime minister last week, okay, we actually estimating more than 600,000 unemployment people this year. Okay, so that's the reason why you need to be more prepared. I don't want to actually frighten you, but I think by giving you some kind of fear, you might actually push yourself to be a better person, particularly to become a good professional. Okay, that's actually the aim of UTM, because we want to ensure that all of you get a job, 100% graduate employability. Okay, so if you cannot get a job from someone, why not? You creating your own job. Okay, whereby you can simply sell yourself, selling your skills, selling your expertise, okay, through digital platform, and your prospect it's not only in Malaysia, it's not only limited in Malaysia, but also all over the world. Okay, I'm going to share my email. Anything you can actually, the thing like this. Okay, you can simply follow us on Facebook or Instagram. I'm quite active on Facebook. Internet site. Okay, you can simply drop an email. You can communicate with me through Facebook Internet site. Okay. Okay. Any other question? Calling for one. Yes, thank you, Norshida. Okay, oh, I forget to recap. Let me recap. Okay, there are three main approach. Okay, uh, considering the high of unemployment rate in the future, so you need to start create your own job through digital platform. So there are three approaches that I shared with you today. The first one through gig economy or freelance. Okay, so here you can actually join Glow program Global Online Workforce by MDAC. Okay, or perhaps e-Riziki as well. Okay, the main difference between e-Riziki and Glow basically focusing on professional like you guys. When you graduate, you become professional because you have a degree, you have a diploma. Sure, you join Glow, you can actually sell your expertise there. Okay, and second one is actually through online business. Okay, you cannot wait. If you cannot do anything, try to actually find any kind of product you can sell. So the simplest way to find suppliers, you can use Facebook marketplace. And then after that, you can use this kind of social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook. And perhaps you can also use this kind of what we call it online marketplace like Lazada as well as Shopee. And the third one is actually you can turn your hobby into income or perhaps become a career, maybe. Okay, so I think that's all for today's session. Thank you very much, and want to make an apology for any kind of weakness from my part. Anything, just drop an email, or perhaps you can communicate with me through Facebook at my site. Thank you very much. So I will end this session, and I hope all of you will get a job. Okay, even though it's not through digital, but perhaps right now, even for you to attend interview is through digital interview. So make sure you actually equip yourself this kind of digital skill. Thank you and have a nice day. May I end now?